Arganchai village is a land of idyllic beauty. Located in central China, which lies 722 miles west of Shanghai, Arganchai village has a population of only 246 people. Many of the families within the village are referred to as Tujia people, who live a self-sufficient life of ploughing and weaving. Kang, the host of the old Kang's mansion in BoyuanT. He has got up early for work as he is preparing a huge family meal. Walking across the fields, Kang's mission is to find a plant named turtle dove leaf, which used to be abundant everywhere 2 decades ago, but now is very rare to find. You are required to enter deep into the mountain, pick the turtle dove leaf, process it through the various stages, then creating it into exquisite tasting tofu. The flavour is fresh, tender and smooth. It's a kind of snack food and a seasonal dish with quite a unique flavour. The process to making great tofu is easy, but requires lots of care and skill. The natives refer to tofu as God tofu, because when you prepare the meal, you should always think positively and never doubt yourself. Otherwise, the tofu cannot be misshaped during the working process. Locals also believe that there was a famine many years ago, where the masses had no means to live, so the goddess of mercy revealed the poor to the use of the leaf. So then the people could make tofu and satisfy the poor's hunger. In order to make God tofu, firstly you have to select appropriate sized leaves. Quick boil in warm water, as it's easy to juice in high temperatures. Put into a gauze, and then they press the leaves by hand until the juices leave the plant. After this process is completed, a heavy rock is placed on the leaf to release more juices which the human hands cannot. Finally, ash water is then added to the juices and is left to cool for 2 to 3 hours. After the cooling process is completed, the tofu is then shaped and now is ready for eating. At noon, the village is very peaceful and tranquil. After lunch, Kang does not rest. He goes to a small pond, which is a 5-minute walk from his home. He collects water for his family and gives it an inspection. The water is used for cooking and making tea, which both have an extraordinary smell and flavour. The summer isn't the greatest time to collect tea. The tea used in oil tea soup should be picked in spring, but the rainwater tea picked in summer has a heavy bitter taste, which is full of flavours and a very strong aftertaste. Making oil tea soups seems simple, but requires much delicacy and skill when creating it. Firstly, fry the rice, soybean, corn, egg and tea. If the cooking process is not controlled, this can cause a burnt taste in the soup. When everything is ready, it is not time to rest yet. He needs to get the glutinous rice cake done before the guests' arrival for the family feast. The sticky rice is soaked overnight so it is ready to use. The rice is placed down into a wooden steamer after it is all well drained. There are many recipes for sticky rice. For example, pan-fried, poached, oiled, and even with fermented rice, wine and sugar, which are all suitable for both young and old. The glutinous rice cake is poured into a stone mortar whilst it's hot. Then it comes to the most important step: to pound the sticky rice with a small mallet and mortar. It is tough work and requires two strong men, taking it in turn to pound the sticky rice with mallets until it is completely grounded. It is a race against time, as the whole process should be done before the glutinous rice cake is cooled down. The longer it takes, it will not only become harder to pound, but also harder to work it by hand. The pounding also requires some techniques to frequently overturn the rice cake to guarantee it's well grounded. Meanwhile, the men will call out in a tempo, which is vital to grasp, otherwise one of them may strike the mallet into the mortar, or the other's mallet, which will damage the stone mortar and even hurt themselves. Therefore, it requires more than just a random brute force to complete the job. After a burst of delightful bang-tat pounding, the mashed sticky rice is taken out from the stone mortar whilst it is still hot. Then it's time for the women to work their magic. The table is surrounded by women who are ready to make the cakes. It requires a meticulously technique. They smear a bit of oil to prevent the rice from sticking to their hands and constantly overturn it between their hands. With a steady right hand and left thumb and index finger, after several nimble twisting, a round white hot sticky rice ball is made. The rice cakes can be shaped into balls or cookies, as well as various printed patterns with special mould, most of which have implied meanings such as luck, wealth, or any other blessings. Lay the ready-made rice cake under an aeration for drying. After that, soak it into water to preserve the cake for the future. At dusk, there is nothing better than to sit around the dinner table with the family to enjoy a meal together. about their day. The most distinct lifestyle between the Tujia family and the others is that they follow the traditional handcraft to prepare food and create their daily essentials. This is rare to find in the fast developing cities. At the end of a busy day, the family finally get together to enjoy their own time. Have a bowl of sweet oil tea soup to relieve themselves from the painstaking day that they have been through.